Self-heal, or Prunella vulgaris. It's one of the plants that seems to be able to do everything. Writing from the 16th century, Gerard said no herb equals self-heal for healing wounds and for a whole host of other things. It's used all over the world by Native Americans, Europeans, and all across Asia for things as varied as thyroid problems, conjunctivitis, tuberculosis, arthritis, to cancer. Self-heal is one of the more widely studied herbs, and even in scientific studies you see the broad list of conditions where Prunella can be helpful. As an anti-inflammatory painkiller, for gingivitis, for osteoarthritis, HIV, herpes, diabetes, high blood pressure, tuberculosis, liver cancer, and endometriosis. It also helps with amnesia and dementia. The first thing that comes to mind when you think of self-heal is the lymphatics, and typically lower body lymph movement. Self-heal is great for supporting varicose veins, both as a lymphatic stimulant and a diuretic. Constitutionally, if you run on the damp side, the astringency of Prunella is great. It's not too much and it's not too little. Self-heal has a long history of working with edema and kidney stones, not just here but in Asia also. But don't just leave it for the lower body lymph system. It's also great any time that there's swollen lymph nodes, both topically or taken internally. Whether it's just a part of a routine cold or flu or a more serious issue, self-heal has long been used for lymph movement in tonsillitis and tuberculosis, and more recently in lymphedema that happens after a mastectomy. For that matter, it's great with mastitis also, which is not an infection but an overflow of milk from the milk ducts that causes an immune response in the surrounding tissue. The only way to clear it out is to actually clear it out, to remove the spilled milk from the area, and this means you have to move the lymph. There's been a whole pile of studies showing self-heal has antiviral properties, especially against the herpes simplex virus, HPV, and even HIV. Much like elderberry, research shows Prunella inhibits the binding ability of a virus so that the virus can't replicate. This means self-heal is definitely a plant you want to put into your cold sore salve. At the first sign of any cold sore or other herpes outbreak, use the salve, or a compress of a strong tea, and drink a bunch of the tea also. You can blend it with lemon balm and St. John's wort if you're not taking pharmaceutical drugs. The antiviral application is much broader than just cold sores, so you should use Prunella at the first sign of any kind of illness. There's no need to bother to wait to figure out if it's a cold or a flu or whatever, because a plant that can inhibit the replication of viruses, disrupt biofilms, and stimulate the lymph system is going to be useful in any kind of pathogenic infection. Not only that, but self-heal doesn't have any reported pharmaceutical interactions beyond standard potential to interact with blood thinners. This means even if you end up with some bacterial mess and you have to take antibiotics, the self-heal can still help. It has its own various antibiotic mechanisms, and there's been multiple studies showing combining herbs with biofilm disrupting action with antibiotics makes the antibiotic more effective. And in the case of self-heal, you also get the bonus lymph stimulation, a real weak point in standard Western approaches to illness. Antibiotics will kill off whatever you have, but you still need the lymph system to get in there and to clean up the aftermath. So whether you're au natural or going the mainstream medicine route, the self-heal is an important part of recovery from any pathogenic attack. Self-heal supports the kidney health, it stimulates the lymph movement, and it has immunomodulating polysaccharides, similar to the herb astragalus and immune-supporting mushrooms. Add all that together and you get allergy support. You've probably heard a lot about nettles for allergy, but it's not the only plant that excels in this area. When working with herbs to support your body through an allergy season, it's important to be consistent and start early. The great thing here is you're not just reducing or suppressing the allergies, you're increasing the health of the body, and you still get all of the other great benefits too. Prunella has been found in studies to have biofilm disrupting action, which certainly accounts for some of its amazing wound healing properties. Self-heal can draw out infection, such as in an abscess, and is very beneficial in stimulating the healing of wounds, burns, and ulcers, including internally. Self-heal also has styptic action, staunching the flow of blood. This means from the washing of wounds to preventing infection to growing healthy new skin, Prunella is super helpful. And it's not just externally on the skin, but in your GI tract also. Remember, the cells of the GI tract are the same type of cells that the skin is made of. When you have a plant that can help to heal the wounds and grow healthy skin tissue, it's also going to apply to your guts. So whether it's ulcerative colitis, IBS, Crohn's, or just the aftermath of using non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, self-heal will help to get your guts back in order. For more information about herbs, supplements, and natural treatment plans, check out my website.